My name is Marc Todd. I am the CEO of Skreens. And what I'm here to show, what I'm at the show for, is we're demonstrating some new technology that's going to allow you to put things that you find on the second screen on the first screen. And what I want to talk about is kind of how I was founded. Skreens was founded with the goal to change display and TV technology to liberate and empower the viewer. We're demonstrating the technology in the exhibit hall, and if you had a chance to see it, you would have seen, a bunch of screens on a TV, and I'll explain a little bit of that. Here's the problem that we're addressing. The TV is over 70 years old. The paradigm for TV is exactly the same as when Leave It to Beaver was prime time. It's exactly the same, the pixels, the methodology, but the viewers have far changed. They were much more sophisticated. We're getting a lot more content. We're getting Apple TVs, we're getting Rokus, I'm getting stuff from Google, I'm getting stuff from Hulu, I'm getting stuff from Comcast, DirecTV, Off-Air. I'm getting gaming stations, I'm getting PCs, I'm getting laptops. What's happening is that the content is changing. The viewer's ability to digest the content, their attention spans are 8 seconds, which meant I think I lost you guys 25 seconds ago. 8 seconds, it's not a lot of time. Everybody's changing, but the TV is not. And I want to fix that for the entire industry and for the consumer. So here's the solution. What we're doing is we've developed technology that allows you to input, have a unit that has multiple HDMI inputs to take everything from cable to Rokus to Apple TVs to Chromecasts, anything over HDMI, add to it a web-based browser with a built-in processor, Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, and then some on that HTML5 applications that third parties can add to and program, and then allow the viewer to control the layouts and what they see on a tablet or smart device. So I'm going to show you a quick video that will describe this. So what this is, on the left-hand side is my tablet, and on the right-hand side is my TV. And what I'm demonstrating on my TV is that I have a Skreens unit where I have multiple HDMI inputs, in this case DirecTV. And we're showing a movie, and I'm watching something on sports. The product allows you to shrink the video, move it, size it, put it where you want, and basically allows you to look at more than one thing at the same time, as well as bring up things like internet and web pages and gaming stations. And so what I'm trying to describe here is the overall structure and power of the technology. From this power and from this control, I believe we can change the way we display our content on TV, therefore creating new revenue opportunities for everybody who's in the second screen market. So what I'm demonstrating here is the power of the technology, that you don't see any lag, you don't see any issues. It's able to take the video and blend it at line rate and combine it. This is radically going to change how TVs are able to perform. So we can take any TV with an HDMI input for 1080p or 4K and change the way it works. That make sense? Okay. Great. So that just gives you a flavor. Let me come back to here. So this, I believe, changes the way you're not just watching TV at this point. You're actually screening. And what does screening mean? Screening means that you're viewing or interacting with more than one device, program, or content flow on a single display. So this is things like I'm watching fantasy football, fantasy stats, and I'm watching 2 football games. I'm watching a basketball game and I have a Twitter feed. In other words, 2 different content streams, 2 different people that supply those. I'm just combining them on the same screen, and I'm doing it legally. I'm using a picture-in-picture technique to do it legally on your home screen, allow you to do a customized presentation for yourself. So who's interested in screening? Screening can be done by gamers. We've had huge uptick for gamers. People that want to play their video game on their game console and keep an eye on the basketball game. People that want to stream. They play their video game and they want to stream that result up to Twitch. People that want to watch Twitch while they're still watching Seinfeld. People that want to stream and watch Twitter or chat. Anytime they have a computer, a tablet, and they want to put that stuff on one screen so they don't have to change their field of vision, anybody who has that requirement, fantasy sports fans, people that are social networkers, huge. Anybody that needs to see more than one thing on the same screen is going to be doing screening. So what can you screen? The technology is such that you could screen anything from a PC, anything with an HDMI port, anything from a web browser. Any digital media that works on TV will be able to be screened. That's a huge statement. That means this is the unification of the media that I get as a consumer, and I can buy a little piece from everybody. I can choose to put on my screen what I want. Another neat thing is that the technology works unbelievable. It's crazy cool for 4K. When you get a 4K TV, the upconvert, it's spectacular. TVs are getting so big. How long are you going to keep watching Seinfeld with a head like this big and you're 7 feet away from it? You got to be able to use your pixels. You bought them, you might as well use them in the way that you want. So why do I think this is huge for second screens? Well, the first thing is this picture depicts exactly what a second screen problem is. I'm watching the football game and I'm trying to watch my stats. Anybody who's a fantasy football player in here has this problem right today. I got to put my screen in a field of vision so I can watch the game and still keep a look at my stats. Very basic. I can put parts of the second screen right on the first screen. So your lean back experience is just watching your stats and watching the game. And then quickly you can automate it to pop in, pop out, asynchronous events, all kinds of technologies which I'm allowing the second screen services to control through our API. I believe that's why it's an HTML5 open application interface. I believe second screen companies can find new opportunity with Skreens technology and screening and offer what they currently have for content, but put it on the first screen and everything will change. So here's a couple examples. This is a good example. I'm just taking a still picture here of, say, 2 cable boxes. And I'm watching the Celtics and the Bruins. Sorry for the Boston connection here. And then on the right-hand side, I'm looking at DraftKings. And now that's a standard web page. So right now, if as a DraftKings player, this is cool for me. Sometimes it's hard to see. Some of the web pages might be hard to get to, but this I cannot do today. I cannot put DraftKings and my draft status up on the screen on a web page. And for anyone who's ever played DraftKings, you forget which players you took. If you forget which players you took, you don't know who to root for when you're looking at the basketball team. So again, just having that flexibility is important. Why is that important for DraftKings? Is because very quickly, DraftKings with HTML5 can simply adapt their web page to TV viewing. Doesn't have to look like this, just happens to be how the browser looks. But they themselves control the interaction with their customer by viewing, adapting just the same way that if you look at that web page on your phone, it'll adapt to your phone. I believe they will adapt it to the TV. And i.e., they're going to make a lot more money if I know who I'm betting on versus if I don't know who I'm betting on. They're going to make a lot more money if asynchronous events pop up like that red that says, oh, hey, that's closing. You better get in on this fantasy draft. Another example, this is a good one. Pretty straightforward. I'm watching the Celtics and Lakers. I just want to see the Twitter feed. I want the Twitter timeline for #Celtics. All kinds of things come up from this. The first thing and I was at this show at the very first keynote, and one thing that struck me, 73% of all tweets, 73% of all tweets are done in front of the television. 73% of all tweets are done in front of the television. That's what it was said in the keynote, and I was like, that's incredible. That means that if the tweets are one step, I don't know what the multiple is, but they get paid based on the impressions. How do you increase your impressions? Put more timelines up. How do you put more timelines up? You need more pixels, you need more eyeballs. What better place to put it on the TV where Skreens can help say, hey, this is the Celtics-Lakers. Go ahead and auto-populate some hashtags and start getting the conversation going. This applies for Periscope, it applies for Facebook, it applies for Instagram. Everything in social media today who wants to get on the TV should be on the TV, and you should be using your tablets and iPhones for inputting, for interaction. And Skreens has some technology for that as well, for how we can help you interact between a tablet and what's on the screen. We could take that offline. But the potential here is massive. That TV is on 5 hours a day in the US home. You're telling me I can put a web page up for 5 hours a day and let that timeline roll? I don't know what that number is, but it's big. Here's another one. This is huge as well. Now, my understanding is that there's over 1 billion gamers in the world. I think it's like 1.2 or 1.6 billion gamers. When you talk to gamers, these guys are typically playing, in this case, League of Legends. They're looking at another PC for a cheat sheet, which is on the right. They got a video of themselves playing with their friend. They're streaming from Twitch their buddy who's playing in the virtual game, and they're getting a 7-second delay streaming from Twitch, and they need to see all of these things on a screen. And so what they do today is they have a PC propped up on a table, they got a screen here, they got another tablet propped up over there. Putting it on one screen allows them to have a much more immersive experience. Another example. Here you have 2 DirecTV or cable or satellite feeds showing NASCAR and showing a football game. Behind it is a web-based NASCAR application, as an example. The NASCAR application is interactive. It's tailored to me as I watch. My driver, my statistics, my shape of the windows. NASCAR is putting up targeted advertising in the Coors Light area. NASCAR has figured out that I like, as a consumer, that app. I launch this app and put the cable feeds and the satellite feeds in those locations, and I can make it dynamic. That is a huge new power per person given to NASCAR. NASCAR could charge for this. Another thing that is taken from this looks like it was done by a broadcaster. Kind of is. It's just at your house. It's blended live at your house. Another thing that's interesting is that what we see there are 3 different revenue models all running at the same time. When Geico runs on the first commercial, and then Geico runs on the second window, and then the Coors Light is generating revenue, and the analytics from logging in to NASCAR are monetized, we've taken one TV and multiplied it by 3 or more, just in one application. The revenue potential for advertising and creativity that you can do with Skreening is enormous. That power might make it better for advertisers to slip in stuff that isn't so annoying as channel. Like, I'm watching, how many Geico commercials can I possibly watch? What do you do now when you see a Geico commercial at a Seinfeld? Next, flip the station. Flip, 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 flip. I watch flip 40% of the time. And 60% of the time I'm watching whatever's there. This helps you take that boredom step and look at other things. And again, huge opportunity for second screen companies. And this is just one where I'm showing that the technology allows you to scale. If you go to our booth and you see this, you can play an Xbox game and have 4 cable boxes all running at the same time without any performance issues. And when you're playing video games, you can't have any performance issues. It's important that the technology that we're talking about, it's taken me 3.5 years to develop it. And I'm coming out now showing the technology, trying to advocate that this is a better way for television to move forward and become smarter for all of us. Helps the TV manufacturer, helps the cable guy, helps the second screen guy, helps the social guy, helps the content people, and overall helps the consumer. So this is just a quick slide on some of the monetization. Clearly you got data analytics all day long, web-based data analytics on those big screens. You've got independent skins and adverts for sponsorships that you could possibly sell. Guy buys a Star Trek skin for his TV to make it look like the dashboard of the Enterprise, for example. You've got applications themselves who have internal chargeable applications, targeted advertising within, like a Twitter feed. It also opens the tablet up for more opportunity to not do the timeline, but you're gaining those pixels on the TV. You shrink that down and use more advertising around the text edit. So there's a lot of different ways that you can make more money by having control of more pixels. And all we're doing is giving the customer the control that they already should have of their TV. So I want to say thank you and open up the questions. Yes?
How do you mix the audio?
Ah, good question. So the audio is selected by which square you want to have come out. So that's a straightforward one, right? So if I go back to this picture, I might want to play the Cowboys game and have the audio. All other audio will be available out Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, so you can earbud it with a phone or just a straight Wi-Fi. Yeah.
Talking about the video games, what's the latency of a throughput on this? Because obviously the latency is going to have an issue with gaming.
Absolutely. The latency is bounded by 32 milliseconds, the time of one frame. It's a hardware solution. It's 1/3 the time of the 100 milliseconds. So when you play it, you noticed no issue. We actually went to 2 PAX conferences and challenged people to do it. They couldn't. 32 milliseconds is a tall order, so yeah. And another neat thing is that within that same frame, if I put 5 Xboxes together, a PlayStation Xbox, they all experience the same. It's not cumulative on the same plane. Each one's independent. And that's just the physical time of going in and out of RAM.
And that's fixed so as if you're watching multiple games at the same time, they're not
Nope.
counted. Okay.
Nope, you got a 32 millisecond, and that's a maximum. Most of the time, on average, is 16. Yes?
So in the NASCAR example,
Yep.
you look at that, so who is purchasing the services? In this example, I don't know who the broadcaster is, who's deciding they want your service?
Yeah. So what it is that in screen service, you have, a NASCAR app that was done by Skreens and NASCAR. So NASCAR used our API for that example and comes up with HTML5 code, which is this. And what you're doing is launching that, and it's coming in the background, and the app is saying, hey, if you've got HDMI 1 and HDMI 2, put them in the top and the mid and in the corners. The application, meaning the web-based app, can auto-determine what you have available to you on the HDMI. So if you only had one, it would then remove that. So it's the consumer that's buying the app. So it's very similar to, I got Angry Birds. Angry Birds came down, and I'm playing Angry Birds. It's just in the corner. I want my HDMI 1, my Comcast feed right there. So I'm picture-in-picture with Angry Birds playing, and it's just being overlaid. So the idea here is to have the consumer buy apps. Maybe the app is free, and then NASCAR, because NASCAR is running that, and again, in this hypothetical example, NASCAR could be forcing you to log in, or maybe we send the login to NASCAR, and then whatever service you have with them for whatever analytics they want to sell you. That business relationship, that's really the big part of what we're saying here. The business relationship between you and NASCAR is done over the internet. The relationship between you and Comcast is already done. You paid for that, and now that's in that window. So you're seeing the video coming to you streaming on Comcast.
Okay, so it could be
Totally, that's an outstanding point, totally right. So Verizon could say, look, we got a NASCAR relationship, so we're gonna make a better NASCAR app that incorporates more stuff and then pulls in data from our data cloud and maybe put some additional stuff in. This opens up the TV to everything that is, it's the output of the cloud, really. So, you know, anybody could bake any application for it.
But I, as the consumer, am the one paying for your service. Because I'm not clear on who's paying for the service. Am I, as the consumer, paying for the service? And then if I'm interested in NASCAR and I'm a member of whatever, I sign up to the website, like I want to know what's going on with the next race.
Right.
And I'm plugging that in, and if
Works.
this stuff comes up.
Yeah, works exactly like an iPhone. You got an iPhone, you buy an app, you paid for the iPhone, you buy an app, or you got one for free, you downloaded it, you double-clicked on it, it came up and some video rolled. Same exact model here. You buy a box from us, or you buy the technology that's somehow licensed into products from us, and so the TV can screen. If it can screen, that means it can take the HTML5 apps from Skreens App Store, which happen to be done by NASCAR, and download and run. Exact same
So
paradigm.
NASCAR, Angry Birds, Broadcaster, they can, if I'm seeking them out, they could have all these other add-on.
Absolutely, and I expect everyone to have more add-on apps. Right now, I don't know of an app store for the TV that gives you the power to do anything realistic on the TV, other than play Sudoku. You know what I mean? This is the first app store in my mind. This is the technology that I'm doing for it, and I think that everybody who wants to get on the TV should want access to those apps, or the ability to make those apps.
Price point of your box?
1.5 million. No. That didn't translate. I don't know the country you're from, but that's just okay. That's fine. We're going to be running a Kickstarter, hopefully in the next 6 weeks. And at that time, I expect a base product, and I think it's going to be, I don't want to spill the beans, but it's going to be in the sub 300, sub 200 range for an entry. That seems like a lot of technology for that price.
Manufacturers should embed it.
What's that?
The guys who make the TVs, they should like embed this.
Well, I got to tell you that the stepping stones that we need to take, in my opinion, is that the way that the market is today, in my opinion, is that we have to show that the industry, the people, want to control the TVs this way. That the industry wants this control of the TV. So supporting us helps us take this and tell the market that they want to do the TV. At those price points, we think we're going to be able to do that really straightforwardly. People are, gamers and whatnot are like, what's the question?
No-brainer.
No-brainer. And then what's going to happen is that we're going to take the logical steps in the silicon that we have, will be licensed into TVs and licensed into other things. We've accommodated for that. That's why we built a piece of silicon. So the idea and what I'm asking for this crew and what I'm asking for the second screen and streaming guys in general, the social guys in general, help us out. If you help us out, I think it doesn't compete with anybody. All it does is open up some pixels and control for you guys and us, and changes the market and turns it in the right direction. If you think that smart TVs are going in the right direction and that's helping you, then stay with that. If you think there needs something else, I would suggest come and support us. How's that for the hard sell?
It's fair.
Great. And again, the name of the company is Skreens, www.skreenstv.com or Skreens.com, either one works, with a K. Are we good? Thank you.